Good morning, guys. I'm excited to get started this morning. I've been waiting about an hour for the sun to come up enough so that we can start filming, because today, stainless brake lines coming up. I hate to start my air tools just yet. The neighbors are still sleeping. Saturday morning. Oh well. Welcome back to Kevin's Trooper channel. This is the channel where we do all types of DIY projects for overlanding and off-roading, and today we're gonna finally install our stainless steel brake lines on the Trooper. What we're gonna be doing is removing the old rubber brake lines and replacing them with some beautiful stainless steel brake lines I got from Classic City Overland, linked in the description. These guys are great over there and they're super helpful. Anything that you need to fix up your Isuzu, these guys can help you with it. Okay, let me start by giving you guys an overview of what all is included in the kit. So we have 5 brake lines here. 2 of them are 21 inches. They go in the front. 2 of them are 12 inches. They go in the back. And then one of them is 24 inches with this block on it, and this block goes in the center in the back down to the differential. To give you guys an overview of how we're gonna start, this piece is gonna be replaced here at the top above the control arm, and then this will run under the control arm and come down and hook onto the caliper with a banjo bolt here with the ring end. And I went ahead and bought some line wrenches just to make sure that we don't round or strip these out. Last night I coated them with penetrating oil just to help them loosen up on all 4 corners. So maybe that'll help us out today. Step number 1 to disassemble from the top is we're going to pull this metal clip that connects the brake line to the bracket here. And then there's another metal clip in the middle holding the middle bracket, and then it goes onto the brake caliper. So let's see if we can get this second metal clip out. Boy, that one is in there tight. Let me see if I can drive it out with a little hammer. We're not going to be reusing this middle bracket. The stainless steel brake lines do not need this middle bracket on them. There we go. And we're out. Okay, now the next step is we're going to attempt to take this top line off. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get something to keep this from spinning. I probably should have taken this loose before I pulled my retaining clip off of there. But vice grips are always the answer. Now there's no way that thing can spin. Now that has just a little bit of slack in it. There's no way it's an 8. I know it's a 10. Now, I don't want to put too much leverage on this thing. Man, that thing seems so loose. Yeah, see, it's already starting to round it off a little bit, you see? Alright, we're going to have to come up with plan B, guys, because that is not going to work like that. I got it, guys. vice grips on the nut, channel locks on the line, and I got it to come loose. Cheap line wrenches, not the best idea. All right, yeah, we're loose there now. Our next order of business is this nut here. This is at the end of the brake line where the banjo bolt is going to be, like so. And we're loose. All right, guys, what I'm going to do to try to minimize my brake fluid loss is I'm going to take my needle nose vice grips and I'm just going to pinch this off right here. And there's my banjo bolt. Still looks to be in really good shape. Now the instructions with this are, I can either run it back through this bracket in the center to hold it in place a little bit or not. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to choose to run mine through the middle just to help hold it in place a little, but it really doesn't make a difference either way. With these stainless lines, you can do it either way. Either utilize this little bracket or not. I'm going to choose to run mine through. And it seems like the best orientation is probably going to be about like so. And now I'm just cleaning up around the caliper where the ring sits, just to make sure everything is nice and clean. Yeah, that looks really good. Now I am going to see if I have another copper crush washer. I bought a whole set of crush washers the other day and I believe they have some small ones in there, so I'm gonna go check that and I'll be right back. All right, I do have one. I'll probably run up and get some more later just to make sure. So I'm going to put my new crush washer on there. You always want to start these bolts by hand. All right, now let's go back up on top. That's how it looks, guys, right there. Now I'm actually going to reuse the clip that came out of the middle, not the one that came out of the top. The one that came out of the top was a little more rusty than the one that was in the middle, so I'm going to go ahead and put the one that was in the middle back up here, and let me show you guys how these clips go. So you're going to push this all the way up to the very top, and then the clip will just tap in and hold itself in place like so. And that took me about 20 minutes to do one side. All right, guys, that's side number one. It's really wasn't that bad at all. The hardest part was just to get the hard line, the rusty hard line, unscrewed from the old rubber line. I think that's going to pretty much be standard. Now, the one that I'm worried about is that center one. That center one in the back is way up underneath the body, and it looks like it's going to be a real pain to try to get that one undone. I'm going to start from the wheel and work my way up to this one underneath. And the reason that I'm going to do that is if I start with the one underneath, that brake fluid is going to be dripping out the whole time, all the way until I get to this one. But if I start here and change this one first, change the other side, and then pinch that brake line off at the top and change the block, and then save that upper to last, that's going to be the way that I can make the least mess and lose the least brake fluid. If I take it off at the very top now, then I'm going to be leaking the whole time. Now the first thing I'm going to do is see if I can get this clip out of this one. That was easy. Now let's see if we can get this brake line loose without stripping this one out. Alright, now if I can just get this channel lock clipped on here, give me something to pull against. Now we got it. Awesome. Alright. That one's loose. Now I can take my channel lock off, and we can take our bolt off at the caliper. Now I was looking at that one that I just did in the front, and I wanted to let you guys know that I found an extra copper washer that was in the drain pan that must have fallen. There must be two, and there is. Look at that. So I took that front one back off and put these copper washers back on there, because there's actually one against the caliper and one on the back of the banjo bolt. There's two. And let's get this one loose. This one's going pretty easy so far. I don't want to jinx myself, but it's going pretty well. And there we go. And that one's out. Now let's take our new one and let's get this one threaded in first. Oh, I'm cross-threaded there. Definitely don't want to be cross-threading this. Alright, we're in. I do not want to be replacing hard lines on this thing. That's why I'm so glad that that one at the top, at the front, I was able to put the vice grips on that one that was rounding out and get it to come loose pretty good there. So I was very, very concerned about that thing stripping out. Now let's clean our caliper up. I'm going to take a little piece of sandpaper and just clean this surface up just a little bit here, just to get the crud off of it so I can get a good seating. All right. So there's two copper washers. Probably about like that, I would say. Getting these line wrenches to seat sometimes is pretty difficult. Okay. Now let's tighten back up our caliper bolt. And no, that's not right. The clip goes this way. And make sure the clip is seated good. And there we have it. Man, those things fit good. And I don't see any drips or leaks. Of course, I'm going to come back after I'm done and check everything to make sure. But that's one. I keep all of my tools and my blanket together like this. And that way, when I move to my next tire or my next wheel, I can just come in, put my blanket down, and it has all of my tools right there. Why am I using this blanket? Because I'm getting old and my knees get sore. Okay, here we are set up in the back. Start by cleaning some of the deer camp sand off of everything. Alright, so here we go. Break that loose. We got it. Get that loose. Let's pull our clip. There we go. Clip is out. And we're loose there. Now I know better than to brag about how easy this job is going, because as soon as I do that, something's gonna break. It's Murphy's Law, right? Well, this was kind of long-winded here. All right, we're out there. We're out here, catching both copper washers. I almost ordered new banjo bolts just because I thought these would be in bad shape before I did this job. And Eric from Classic City Overland told me the banjo bolts would probably be okay. And he was 100% right, like always. These banjo bolts are in great shape. You always want to take time to clean your mating surfaces up so that they look good. And I'm so glad that I saw that copper washer laying in the pan on that first one, because I actually put it back together without a copper washer on bottom at first. And fortunately, I saw it, and I knew I didn't have an extra one sitting there. And when I was putting it back together, I thought to myself, that kind of seems like that needs something there. And it did. All right, now we're snug. It's very unlike me to not be using a regular wrench here instead of these vice grips, but I just really don't feel like walking over there. I never do stuff like that. There we go. That one is snug. And done. Now for the one I haven't been looking forward to. Took me a good 15 minutes to get the camera onto this brake line up here. This is not gonna be an easy one. Hopefully, it's going to come off relatively easy, because it is in a difficult position. Now I'm sure some of you know this already, but some of you may not. And if you'll tap your wrench, if you'll tap your wrench, things have a lot more likelihood of coming loose. Ugh. I wish you guys had a video of that. I think that was good. Yes, it's turning. All right. And I can tell that clip is going to come out. In fact, it's almost out right there. Now that I know, I wish I had a lift. Now, now that I know that top piece is loose, before the brake fluid starts running everywhere, I got sand all in my mouth. Before fluid starts running, I'm going to back up from that one and once again go to the end of the brake line, do the one at the bottom, and then now that I know that top one's loose, I'll go ahead and change that one last. I just didn't want to take the bottom loose unless I was sure I could get that top one out, but that was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. See, this is the block, and then this line runs up to where I showed you guys earlier. Yeah, that was my thumb. And there it went. Going the right way helps. And don't worry, I'm not going to edit that part out, if you noticed. It's kind of hard with all these. You're laying one way and the bolt is another way. It's easy to get it wrong. And you guys will see this extension piece. I'm not sure you can see it on camera, but this came with my lift kit. This was part of the brake extension. Okay, let's see here. Get a bigger hammer maybe? So I think I'm hitting on this extension piece. I may have to take this bolt here out first. And that's going to be weird though. Trying to get it done with that out. I'm not going to have any support at all. See, I think it's hitting right here. Let me see if I can go one more up. No, I just can't. Oh, we got it. That was easy. I totally wasn't expecting that. And that's going to go like that. Oh, come on. Come on, don't mess with me now. And you can see these hard lines are bent up just a little bit because when I put this extension on with the lift kit, the instructions were to bend them just slightly. Come on, sucker. I'm about as non-left-handed as it gets, y'all. Okay, progress. Oh, I hit my elbow on the jack. If I wasn't filming, I would definitely be cussing. But I'm trying to make this a family channel. Yeah, one of these days, guys, in the future, I'm going to have a nice shop with a lift, and we can really get some work done then. Yeah, my plan is I'm selling the house I'm in right now in town. And I'm gonna get some property where I have a little bit of acreage where I can have a shop. I'm doing everything in a garage right now, and it's pretty constrained, you know. I want a nice shop to where I can have all my welding stuff in one corner, all my woodworking stuff in another corner. And have a nice lift. All right, now let's see about this bottom one. Oh, it isn't near as long-winded. It's already almost tight. There we go. All right. That's how that's gonna look. All right, guys. We're back to the top. Let me first see if I can pull the clip out from up there. Oh, nice. Keep that in a handy location. Oh, I didn't quite get it loose enough. There we go, now we're turning. Come on, baby, start in there. Feels like I got it. Looks like I got it. I got brake fluid in my underarm. But that's okay. One thing about working on your back is you're gonna drop stuff on your face. I've dropped so many tools on my face. I think that got it right there. I'm just gonna give it one more little check just to make sure. That's good. Now the only thing we have left is this clip. Is that in? Was it that easy? Well, that's it, guys. That's how you put stainless steel brake lines on a 2001 Trooper. Honestly, it wasn't near as difficult as what I thought it was going to be. It's really about a 10 to 15 minute per tire job. I love those new brake lines. They seem really high quality. Classic City Overland is definitely the place to fix up your Isuzu if that's what you drive. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button because I've got more really cool projects coming up for the Trooper. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up because you know it means a lot to me. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next video.